Hey, what's up, guys? Ira Coleman here, the founder of Fluent Hustle. This is our first Chicago edition. Here with my man, Bryan Laughlin, the owner of Concept Effects. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, man, it's been a while.
It's been a long while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think you and I ran into each other over one of my business over the summer, but I mean, it was real brief. But you know, it's been definitely a little while since we've actually had a chance to talk shop and business and hustle and grind. So long time friends since high school. He and I have gone through a lot, been good friends. You've been a major supporter of me, you know, personally, and then also, you know, within my career. And now we have going with Fluent Hustle. So I just really appreciate all the, you know, the sentiment and encouragement you provided me throughout the last many of years, but then also in the last couple of weeks as well. So I put a post out there that I was coming to Chicago, bringing Fluent Hustle with me, and Brian's like, dude, get me on your show. What's it going to take? And I was like, it doesn't take much, man. You know, you're definitely one guy I want to promote and help out and get it going for you. So Fluent Hustle is a community that empowers, promotes, and inspires entrepreneurs through the stories of other entrepreneurs like Bryan and what we're going to share today. He has some incredible news, some great things happening for his business, Concept Effects. We're going to speak about what he's involved with and how he's looking to make a difference in the perspective from the youth stepping into business, and some insight on what he can provide to encourage others and give them some advice on what they can do differently in the marketplace. So let me run through this real quick. Bryan Laughlin, El Jefe Primo. How about that, right?
You know what? If you can't have fun, you're not doing it right?
Oh, my man. So, no, but Bryan is the president of Concept Effects, Chicago's premier lighting and event company. They aim for every event to be considered a top-tier production, not just an event, but a production. And your experiences coming from Halloween days and the haunted houses gave you a lot of it, you know, background and understanding the production side of things and providing an experience to people, not just doing lightings or events, but the main aspect I learned from you throughout the last decade or so in your involvement was always about the experience and making sure that when people come to your events that you are putting on for your clients, that they walk away with a complete wow factor.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. So we'll get into that about, you know, why you do what you do from that perspective, and we'll get a little bit deeper into, you know, discussing it. But like I said, you know, Bryan and I have known each other since high school. We can go back some good personal stories that we will not divulge on this show today.
Yeah, I'm Fluent Hustle.
But catch up with a beer, some green beer, as we're here in Chicago. It is St. Patrick's Day weekend. Happy Friday, guys. We are live on set at Jefe and Tine here on Fullerton and Lincoln Park. And they're also members of Lincoln Park Chamber of Commerce, so please come down here. They're only open for dinners now. We got their dinner menu right here. Bryan and I were super excited to hopefully come here for lunch, but they made an audible move on us that we didn't know about a few months back. But their burgers are freaking awesome, so if you get a chance to check out Jefe and Tine, please do so. They're phenomenal. We want to thank Krista and Ryan for giving us the opportunity to be here. Krista and Ryan are both high school friends as well. I mean, you went to high school with Chris and graduated with her, right?
Yes, graduating class 2000.
And I know you've been a good supporter of her with her many of businesses that she has going on. So
with the event space is a great spot.
Yeah, let's talk about the event space now. You bring it up. What's the name of it?
Concord 55. It's at North Avenue, Elston, for all you people getting married soon. Great, really unique space for any event, and what Carissa has built there is phenomenal.
That's awesome. Yeah. So let's talk about Concept Effects and like quick plug, and then we'll get into like your personal journey, your story. Yeah. But what is Concept Effects beyond what the introduction was, and you know, from your perspective, and what you're really trying to do in the marketplace when it comes to lighting and event planning?
You know, when Concept Effects started, the idea was to be a full scale wedding company. We did everything from lighting, DJs, makeup, photography, videography, and within the first year of that, I was like, am I crazy? You know, this is not what we should be doing. We need to focus on what we're good at and what I'm personally am passionate about, which is lighting. Like I said, I mean, I started in the Halloween industry when I was a kid, probably like 14 years old. And quickly started designing sets and scenic design within the industry. And one thing I took from that was that, again, having people walk out of a space and completely transforming that space so they don't feel like they're in a room, or they don't feel like they're in a venue or a banquet hall or a tent or a parking lot. Being able to completely transition a space to where they walk out and they're like, wow, what was I just in? That's where our values are at. That's what I have built the company on, and especially over the last 3 years, what our main focus has been, from top tier production with the festivals and more of the outdoor concerts and one-off events where somebody could literally be in a parking lot, but when they walk out of that space after going into it, they're like, were we just in a parking lot? So, I mean, it's for me, Concept Effects is, we're a full-scale production company that strives to capture a client's vision and execute a brand awareness for just about any type of business.
We love that. Guys, if you're watching this or when you're watching this, please like, comment, and share. We want to give this an opportunity to promote Bryan and Concept Effects as much as possible. And this is another platform to do so. So we're looking to empower, promote, and inspire entrepreneurs. This is the promotional ad. So please go ahead and like, share, and comment. This way Bryan can follow through with you later on and make some connections with that. So personal journey, Bryan. You grew up here in Chicago. You and I met junior high school, time frame. I can't remember specifically, and we've been very, very close.
Yeah.
And then you went away to Colorado.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, now, where I live, right? And it's beautiful out there.
Yeah, it is. I miss it.
Let's talk about your college journey. Before that, I always ask this question: like, what was your first job growing up?
Oh, man. I was washing dishes at Vale Street Cafe in downtown Arlington Heights when I was like 14 or 15 years old. My dad instilling strong work ethic into all three of us. Was like, you want something in life, you're going to go get a job and work for it. So I started washing dishes, and then next thing I know, I'm working with bricklayers and mixing concrete. I think actually my first job really was doing side jobs with my dad when I was 8 or 9.
Put you to work early.
Yeah, when my mom found that out, she went nuts. Yeah, mixing concrete at 9 years old on side jobs. Who does that?
Yeah.
But those values is really what got me where I'm at today.
And growing up, like, what was your ideal dream job?
I wanted to be an architect. That's what I was really passionate about in high school and going through college. I wanted to build homes.
And what happened? What was that transition where you just it didn't go that direction?
I ended up in community college, and then I started bouncing degrees. And honestly, what changed my mind was the math, which is one of my strongest subjects growing up was math. I was really good at it, but I just didn't want to deal with it as an ongoing profession for the rest of my life.
Sure.
And then the reality of markets being so up and down when it comes into housing and construction, I bounced around. And what I was really passionate about growing up and was what really caught my eye as a kid was Hollywood special effects. The scene that got it for me was Armageddon, when the meteors are crashing down.
Yeah.
When I saw the behind the scenes and they're actually blowing up all these cars and launching them in the air, and I was like, man, I want to do that. So I ended up in Colorado at the Art Institute of Colorado in Denver for live special effects and industrial design. Spent a little too much time on the mountains snowboarding.
Hard not to, right?
Right. And I think about 9 months in, I kind of went to the recruiters and just like, this is what I want to do with my life. Can you get me an internship when I leave? And they said no. They said, we can do industrial design, but special effects is unique. You need to be in California for that. So,
wow, interesting.
I came home. I had this grand idea of going to Florida, to the same school in Florida, to do the same thing. And my dad's like, you're getting a job. So when I came home, for me, what it was I was going to prove that I didn't need a college degree to be successful in life. And whatever that took for me, I was going to get it done. Because at that point in time, having all the schooling that I had and not having that piece of paper yet, I said, enough's enough. It's time to,
to make moves,
pull it
to
up
get
and
it
shut
done.
up, right?
Yeah.
And grind and hustle and make something of myself. So that's kind of the journey,
Good. Well, we're going to get back into the details. Guys, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share this, which I'm doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. I'm going to tag Knife and Tine and give them a little location shout out as well. So we really appreciate it. So you're going through college, you're realizing what you want to do, and the school said, you can't do it here in Colorado. You need to go out to California and do it in LA. And you came back home with this grand idea, and your dad's like, no, you're going to get a real-time job, and like you're not going to pursue this, fictitious thing that you might have going on in your head. But being told no and being like so passionate about what you're about to put together, how did you fight through that, and how did you overcome some of the naysayers, unintentional naysayers, I guess you can say, but then maybe some intentional ones as well, where you're like you're determined to make it happen. And how did you keep that energy with inside to keep on pushing ahead?
Like my dad, my mom and my dad, they both have always had good intentions for us. I mean, the way we were raised was strong work ethic, and they come from a time of 30 years, get a pension, then go get a second one. And, unfortunately for us in our generation, we're millennials, like the upper tier millennial, the older ones, we're grinders, we're hustlers. We don't want to work for somebody else. We want to work for ourselves. When you're told no, I mean, it hurts. You feel like your dream's getting cut, but it's how you take the no and apply that back to your life that's going to change the overall outcome. And for me, it was, okay, fine, I'm going to get a full-time job, but that's not where I'm stopping. Every single day I would come home from work and I would sit down on that couch and I'd write that business plan. And until it was perfected, and I'd worked with my mom to help me perfect that, to get it where it was, and then got to a point where I could, sit with an investor. And I sat with an investor, and I heard the words no again. You're trying to build a company where the market's already, flooded with companies doing what you're doing. How are you different? And I took that no and I said, don't worry about it. I don't need your money. I'm going to make this happen. And I did. And it was the strategic partnerships that I developed after hearing those no's that put me in a place moving forward to really grind. I mean, my mom is a big part of my business acumen. Working with her when I was younger and just kind of seeing what she went through and the dedication and her work ethic, and then my father's work ethic, that combined with my brain, and I was just, to me, I was unstoppable. I'm like, no is going to stop me from getting what I want.
And you got a brother? You got a brother and a sister?
Two brothers.
You got two brothers. Okay, I couldn't remember if you had a sister or not, but you got two brothers. Are you the older brother, middle brother?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest.
I'm the wild one.
How did that dynamic of having siblings, being the older brother, give you some leadership soft skills? If you can kind of reflect back on that, being the wild one, being the pioneer, doing things, and perhaps making a lot of mistakes personally, right? But are there like some leadership traits that you can pinpoint? Just when I ask you that question.
I think as an older sibling, you want to set the standard for your younger ones, and you want to get all the screw ups out of the way for them, so it's easier for them when they screw up, because you're the first one.
Right.
But to me, I think that just being an older brother in general, you have a level of love for your family, and you want them to see success just like you.
Right.
So you tend to try to create opportunity for them, and if you see them faltering, perfect example to me is my youngest brother Christopher went to school for entrepreneurship at DePaul. Smart kid, really good.
Right here in our backyard, a knife and Tine in Lincoln Park.
And he impressed me with his mentality of trying all these different things for business, and it motivated me to get involved and give him some guidance where I could and try to push him. At the end of the day, I knew that he wasn't me, and that sometimes that might have pushed him too hard, because I saw what he had inside of him. And sometimes you as an older sibling are the one that can pull that out of him. But I felt like he grasped the concept so well, and he's doing great for himself now in Colorado.
Good. Well, I need to connect with him.
Yeah, he's in Fort Collins.
That's like an hour and a half away from Denver. No, it's actually like half an hour, 45 minutes, all depending on how you're driving. So let's talk about the other things you're involved with. You run a very busy schedule. You got Concept Effects. You got this new project going on, which we'll speak about with Grunt Style, which is super, super fun and super cool. And you're really taking their cutting edge lifestyle brand, and you're bringing the experience behind it. But you're also involved with District 214, where we went to high school, the Alumni Advisory Council board member, and helping that school district bring in more attention for the alumni and the students that are currently obviously going through that district. And then you also have a foundation as well.
Yeah.
And you want to speak about that and give some insight on what that foundation is about?
Yeah, I mean, the family started a business several years ago with STEM education, STEAM education. We wanted to add arts into it, and connecting the manufacturing community to the maker community. From there, I pivoted it into a non-for-profit. The concept behind it was to do concussion awareness, concussion monitoring for youth football programs, starting in underprivileged communities that don't get the funding, where football is their, streets are football. You want to, with what's going on in the city of Chicago right now, it was a no-brainer to work on that. I put it on hold because Concept Effects is my baby, and I really started to realize that I was being stretched so thin that I was sacrificing opportunity with something that I have worked so hard on for so many years, and that wasn't allowing doors to open.
Fair enough.
Because my mind wasn't on that one thing.
Right.
That's why I scaled back my me DJing at night was because of, working 4 or 5 nights a week.
At Sweet nightclub down on Wells?
Yeah, at a bunch of spots.
Yeah, one of my favorite spots.
Around here, too. I mean, it just got to a point where I was overworking myself. And for what? It wasn't what I loved, and it wasn't what I was passionate about. And Concept Effects is what I'm passionate about. It's my baby, And so for me, it's never been about the money with the business. It's always been about the look from a client when the event's over.
Right.
And seeing that you captured their vision, you made their lives easier. They were able to be exposed in a way that they may have not been exposed before to their demographic, or to their family or friends, depending on what kind of an event it was. And that passion gives me a sense of happiness that doesn't come from money.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. So let's talk about the relationship you have going on with Grunt Style. It seems like that just merged here recently, from what I can tell from afar.
Yeah.
How did you come across it? What is Grunt Style about, and how can you replicate that relationship amongst other brands from Concept Effect?
Well, Grunt Style is a t-shirt company started by veterans. They're all about Freedom America veterans. Great company, great concept, great brand, great merchandise. The staff is awesome. Shout out Justin and Austin and Bree and everybody else on the events team. Just great people, man, and they have an awesome vision, and the way I see them grind when they put together events, it just makes me want to work harder to help them capture and get a bigger outreach.
Sure.
And what we started doing with them is I wanted to help them with their marketing, because Facebook just changed their algorithms, and it's really starting to damage how companies can market. They're losing insights.
Very difficult.
And for somebody a company that makes so much money, that dumps so much money into advertisement, to be whitelisted by Facebook because of what they stand for, it's not how you do business. And for me, I wanted to do something where we could allow them to have an opportunity to market in a different way by driving insights in the professions through social photo booths. So we started working with them to provide these photo booths at their events, and some other production stuff. And for us, it's an opportunity to work with such a great company and a great group of people, and hopefully give them the ability to take away some of the stress that they were having before, some of the pains from being overworked, maybe because they have to call 100 people. I mean, this is what we do as a production company, and what I kind of love, chasing people around in an event, making sure they're doing a job, But to me, I've known Austin for years, and how he's come up through that company, it's something that definitely, you pat somebody on the back for that, where he started from the bottom and he's kind of brought himself up over time, and he's really started to carve a niche out for him that works, and everything that they're doing as a team is just so impressive that you naturally want to be around that.
Okay.
And from a business owner, to me, it's like, you could always sit in a room and be like, man, I want to work with those guys because I see dollar signs. And anybody could say that.
Of
but
course.
For me, it's like, I want to work with them because of how I feel when I do an event for them, what they stand for, and what we want to do to help elevate that brand. It's never, you can't put money on that feeling.
You bring up a very great point in understanding from a business owner's perspective and identifying clients is working with the clients that make you feel good, and that there's actually a true relationship behind that, because that can flourish into something exceptionally like beyond your wildest imaginations, other than just the dollar sign, right? And the dollars will come over the course of time when you have a strong relationship and you're working with these brands on a regular basis, and they're actually pushing you outside of your creative mindset that you might be stuck into on an ongoing basis. And I think that's very important that you bring that up.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the best thing I ever heard was surround yourself with the people that have the same visions, drive, and motivation in life that you do, because those are the people that are going to drive you to be a better person, a better business person, and overall just be successful.
Right.
And to me, we are brought up in a society where it's like money is everything. And at one point in my life, I actually thought that was the case. And the reality of it is that money's money. How happy are you at what you're doing?
Right.
And it took a lot of up and down and realization for me to kind of see it that way. But as I started to surround myself with people like the team at Ground Style, it pushes me to work harder, and to showcase a company or a brand in a way that they haven't been showcased before, and give them something that is going to kind of, I don't want to say put them on a pedestal, but just give them that opportunity.
No, we want to put them on a pedestal. We put them on a higher stage and a higher concept effect or light mode. Put them on a pedestal, give them a stage and a platform, and put big bright lights on their brand, knowing that you're able to assist them through that process.
You just want to see them, like, not just them, but a lot of other people too, have the opportunity to appeal to a broader range of people, a larger demographic that they may not be appealing to right off the bat.
Right.
I mean, it's a growing company just like everybody else. And I think what really drew me in, and honestly believe what really drew me in, was the company values and what they stand for. It just, especially with everything going on in the United States right now, it just feels that much better, because you're helping and being a part of something that it's more than just an event.
You love that. So what can Chicago and perhaps nationally, what can your current clients and your future clients expect from Concept Effects? What are you guys working on, and what are you most excited about coming ahead in the next year to 3 years down the road?
Everything changed in October, man.
Yeah.
Concept Effects went from right here to all the way up, and real quick. We have new websites coming April 10th. Everything's changing on it. Our entire look, appeal, everything, complete rebrand. The logo staying the same, but everything else is complete rebrand. We're doing
that's super exciting.
Yeah, we're making a big push to go to more of a production and corporate and higher end weddings. We're not going to ever deny somebody. We love working with every single one of our clients that we get. I mean, every event is so unique and different that every smile we get, every 5-star review we get, just pushes us that much more to do even more.
Of course.
We recently added photography back into our offering. We got a great guy that does amazing shots. People have been asking more and more for him to do the photography. That's Nick, who's also my production manager.
Okay.
But his work is great, and people are starting to see that, so that they want to work more with him. Taylor and Nick both came over in October, right around that time. Some things changed, and they're a huge part of what's going on right now. I mean, without them, this climb wouldn't have been possible.
What growth challenges have you been facing the last 4 or 5 months that you weren't expecting? Perhaps they were unpredictable, but now you're facing right now as the president of your organization, that you're trying to fight through and come together with your team and make sure that you could execute with peace of mind to everyone else.
For years I rode the wave of the event industry, and I would say the pains that I've had, I wouldn't even 4 or 5 months. These last 4 or 5 months have been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I would look at it more like I never had overhead. I never wanted it. I made the system work, and it worked. And then I took the jump, and I put a down payment on what would have been a house into my company, and I took on the overhead, and I'm taking on more overhead because you're going to sink or swim. And to me, I avoided swimming for so many years because I thought this is what I need to do. And the only way for us to grow as a business and really take that next step was to put the money into it.
Good.
So I took a risk I knew had a great reward, but I took that risk because I wanted to build something with 2 other individuals that could be bigger and better than what it has ever been before. And I've known that and had that vision for 10 years. And have pushed for 10 years and grinded for 10 years and rode this wave of 2 events our first year, 5, then 50, then 20, then 11. And, the event industry is a huge roller coaster.
Right.
So how do you carve a niche out in that industry to be unique from everybody else? And what do you do differently than everybody else? And to me, who we are as individuals, how we treat our clients, what we want our clients to feel at an event, and the production of it is what sets us apart from everybody else.
How do you manage riding that wave, ups and downs, roller coaster effect? You're going from 5 events a year to 20 to 50, back down to 11, and you're kind of like, holy cow, what's happening here? So what do you do to stay even keel, to keep your mindset on the positive side, knowing that no matter how positive you're trying to be focused on, there's always something bad going on, and just let it be something that that you can overcome.
To me, a negative thought is 100 times more powerful than a positive thought. And at any point in time in my life, especially over the last 10 years, and there was a window in there of a year and a half that was absolute hell. It was hard to get out of that at first, but what I realized is that you have to stop. You got to pump the brakes. The second that thought comes into your mind of doubt or worries about money or bills stacking up, you're bringing that to you. And the only way to stop that is to, close your eyes, center yourself, put yourself back in a place of positivity, and live the life that you want to live it like you already are living it.
There you go.
Have the mindset that I am already successful. My business is already doing well. Things are great. We're doing all these events, we're doing that, and always have that mindset. Things don't work out. It's okay. That's the way it was meant to be because there's a bigger thing out there. And that's the mindset I've had, was that you get hit in the jaw so many times.
I love that.
But the reality of it is, who cares? They obviously weren't the right fit for you.
Yeah.
And the right fit is the next person. And the only thing that you need to do is be fully aware of the people that are around you, because you never know who that person that you're going to bump into at the library or at the bus stop or at the bar could be that person that's going to change your life. And it took a lot of me. I mean, I'm a big self-empowerment guy. I do the daily teachings from The Secret every single morning to put myself in the right mindset. I'm extremely grateful for everything I've had and everything that's coming and the people that are around me. I'm loyal,
right?
And I think those values, they hold a candle to everything that you do in business. And if you have a negative mindset, your business will never succeed because you're always pumping a negative into something that you're trying to value.
Yeah, and the more negativity you allow to continue to build flame on, it becomes a bigger and bigger fire.
Yeah.
And I think it's one thing to you have to recognize that bad things are happening, but you can't sit there and play in that field with negativity on a regular basis. And you need to get into the field of positivity and be mindful. And like you said, the daily, incantations, I guess you call it. It's like, hey, I'm gonna make it happen today. Things are gonna turn around.
Yeah.
I am successful. My business is rocking and rolling. And it's not to fake yourself. It's not to say that you are trying to put yourself down a path that's unrealistic. But just like making that free throw, right? You have to visualize the free throw, but you also have to have the skill set to make sure that shot does go in.
Yeah.
And keep it balanced on a regular basis.
Well, you gotta have confidence in yourself, man. If you're insecure about yourself and you don't believe in what you're doing, that's your first problem.
100%.
And with any company, there's waves, up and down waves. It doesn't matter what you're doing and who you are. You have to learn to adapt, and you have to learn to accept that. And how are you going to change it? And you can look at the 5% of the world, and follow some of them on Instagram or Facebook and see what their posts are about. It's
or give them a phone call.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't know me, but
I want to talk to you. It's constant positivity.
Yeah.
And they all went through it. Everybody went through it. And you meet a lot of my friends and family, and even my girlfriend, and she would tell you, like, I don't know where he gets his positivity sometimes.
Yeah. This guy right here.
It's just, and we've all had those negative times where you're so down in the dumps, from death or, things aren't going your way. And, you have to be able to right the ship. Because if you don't right the ship, you're going to sink it, and you're going to sink everything you put all your time, money, blood, sweat, and tears into because you couldn't get out of that funk.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. So, again, we got Bryan Laughlin here, the president. Jefe Primo, just having a little good laugh about that. Yesterday, he hit me up. He's like, I'm like, yo, or I hit him up. I'm like, yo, what's your title with the company? I just wanted to confirm that. And he responded back with Jefe Primo. And not knowing that I was gonna I'm like, all right, well, that's what we want to roll. Is roll with it. But he is the president of Concept Effects here in Chicago, a premier lighting and event company, and looking to take it just from being a lighting and event company to a true production experience. And that's where he's coming into the marketplace. And he's been following his passion from. Can we talk about like the haunted house days and what I mean? Like I remember the things you used to show me, and now every time I show up to a haunted house, I always think of you because I look beyond the scare and the mask. I really look upon about like, what experience am I getting out of this? And sometimes I'm laughing because the experience isn't there.
Yeah, man, I was real fortunate. I had a guy I played soccer with from back in like middle school, Mike, and he was in the Halloween industry, and he always did a crazy thing in his house. And I'm like, I want to do that. I love that. I love scaring people.
Yeah,
I want to chase that girl with a chainsaw so she runs across the parking lot, And so I got brought into an industry, and then from there I got surrounded by so many creative people, and it took me to Dream Reapers, which. By far, those group of guys in the industry, top notch, and unfortunately we lost one of them, Jim, a couple of days ago, and the industry in a whole lost a legend.
Wow!
And these guys, the attention to detail that they took and put into a haunted house that's only open like 20 to 22 days out of the year was incredible.
And it took 6 months to a full year prep for that following year, right?
They don't know this, and they could probably hear it now if they watch this or if they're seeing it. The attention to detail that they put into a haunted house is what I took out of and put it into my business for events. We're not just starting to get into production. We've been doing production for years, and we've worked with a lot of companies and clients throughout the United States. We're taking a bigger jump this year to do some different things that are more unique, that are more experienced, instead of just here's a stage, lights and sound, put your artist up there. It's more to that to me. It's what a lot of companies lack, is that experience. It's that taking them out of that we're in a parking lot and putting them into what is this? And those guys and the detail that they put into every single scene that they did showed me that it's not just about the scare. It's not just about the event or the artist or who's on stage or what food's being served. It's about the atmosphere. It's about when they're within your walls, what are you giving them? What are they going to take away from this? If it's just, it was cool, I got scared, fine, and that's what you wanted. But what they wanted and what I want in my business is they want memory. They want these people and I want my clients. It's, you know, did you get what you wanted out of it? Did you get your vision? Did you, you know,
or did it open you up to a new experience that you weren't expecting?
Exactly. And did it give you a different?
If you get that, a positive new experience out of any of the productions you're doing, that opens up a whole perspective on your best potential from a company and from you running the helm of the company itself. So.
Yeah, I think that, and just, you know, I guess you could give it that, like, allowing people to live a dream for a day. Mm-hmm. You know, just like somewhere where you can escape, and it's literally like an escape. It's not just an event, but it's a full experience that gives you that day to just forget about everything. And when you leave, you're like, wow, that was absolutely incredible.
How can people reach out to you? You mentioned you have a new website coming April 10th or 11th?
April 10th.
So April 10th it's a hard date that you're putting down on that. So we look forward to
the website. Anthony's ready for that. That's the web designer.
Well, does Anthony know the date, or is he finding out as we're finding out?
He knows the date. I don't know if his other guy knows the date.
So how can people reach out to you directly? And what's your biggest ask? From the Fluent Hustle community, people that are going to be watching this video later on, and in 6, 12, 3 years down the road, where you're like, hey, I would really love to have this connection, this opportunity, people coming on board with me, with Concept Effects. So first, how can people reach out to you?
Well, concepteffects.com, www.concepteffects.com, Facebook or Concept Effects, Twitter, Concept Effects, Instagram, Concept Effects.
We'll post all those later on too.
We're not doing Snapchat, and that's the easiest way. Everything's pretty simple.
And what's your biggest ask?
From Fluent Hustle, what I love about it is that it's giving the opportunity for entrepreneurs to connect with each other, and that's what you need. Think of it as a co-working space, but national. Building a network. And so what I ask is that, like, anybody ever needs advice or wants to talk to somebody about their hardships or their goals, my phone's on. I have the ears, and what I love is giving people empowerment and like that spiritual uplifting to kind of push them for greatness, and
love that.
I think I had my girlfriend ask me one day, why do you work so hard for your friends? And I said, because they have the same mindset as me, and I want to see them as successful as I am. So I push them or give them insight to help them when I should be focusing on myself. But myself can wait because, just that loyalty and caring about what they're doing and seeing them be as happy as I'm at,
Well, we love that. Thank you very much for bringing that insight. Guys, this is Fluent Hustle. Ira Coleman, the founder. I'm here with Bryan Laughlin, the president. I was going to say Jefe Primo, but the president of Concept Effects. Thank you so much for coming on board. Your story, your history, our relationship, me being back in Chicago for the first time in over 6 months, and having you as our first featured business owner on the Fluent Hustle community here in Chicago. Again, we're at Jefe and Tine here in Lincoln Park. Please give us some support when you watch this video by also liking, sharing, and commenting for Bryan, for Jefe and Tine here in Lincoln Park. You guys have a wonderful day. Happy Friday. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day weekend. Be safe and continue to stay on the hustle, my friends. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.